hit the rift. It once again is pick potential for the red team in Los Grandes. The Titans at the top of the table, but Fluxo, they've got quite a bit of death ball in Cam. And being on the rift here, I'm sort of interested to see, has Fluxo sort of done their homework and been able to make an adjustment to play towards these solo lanes? We've seen them play towards House somewhat, but Ty has been the player that I think many people would have identified as the player that has struggled the most on Fluxo so far this year, and now on the Jays, given the keys to a carry. I mean, I need to see if Ty is able to step up and be big up against Hurrit, because it's obvious. Los Grandes, they're going to go bot. They're going to play for Netuno. They're going to play for Lava. They're going to leave this Jax to scale. So can you punish this in a departure from your general style?
And this is a crucial game to really prove that both Tay and House really can play with those carry keys in their pockets, because, like we said earlier, Fluxo winning this game could secure them second, if not tie them for second with Red and possibly Loud later on in this day. So you win this game, you are definitely almost securing your spot in playoffs, as long as the rest of the season doesn't go super terribly. But here in the mid lane will be the classic. I haven't seen this on CBLOL yet. Oh my goodness, is this the first time we have a tri-cam on CBLOL?
This is the first time I've seen it too. I'm kind of here for it. It's a little zoomed in bot lane maybe, but it looks like, I mean, it's just Los Grandes. They're actually getting control of the wave in all three lanes, which is pretty favorable for the jungle matchup. And I mean, Cam, you're talking about implications for the standings as well. Fluxo, I want to point out, they started this season 1-4, and they've won 4 straight now. And granted, against a lot of the bottom table teams are where their wins have come, but it's still significant nonetheless. And so this is a team that, after a rough start, has sort of rocketed their way back up to this position. So if they're able to go blow for blow with Los Grandes, it bodes very well for the back half of their season.
House getting the initial push here in the mid lane, does have that level 3 spike for him as well. This is on paper a mage versus mage matchup.
Ooh, clever.
But then you look at the junglers here. It's a Vi and a Wukong, two very heavy engage champions, two very meta champions as well in the jungle right now. I actually expect this mid lane matchup to be very aggressive, considering it is technically that mage versus mage. Tay trying his absolute hardest to get this wave crash right now. He's either gonna die for this wave, or he will live and not get to see the wave again for about 10 minutes. Ranger waiting a very long time to pull the trigger on this gank. Tate's just still not able to get that wave under the tower, and now Ranger showing his face, gets that flash out from Tay. Very well played by Los Grandes top side.
Yeah, quite patient, however, from Ranger. Is going to give up time on the bottom side to Disamis, and it does mean that Netuno and Zay need to be careful on their push. And I love how you bring up this mid matchup as well, Cam, because we didn't really talk about it in the draft, but Blind Victor is a really odd choice when Azir's on the board. Azir's so often preferred into the Victor, because once you get level 6, you use the first shuffle to get the flash off of Victor, and then if Ranger isn't permanently covering mid, you just use the next shuffle to kill the flashless Victor, and there's not really any counterplay whatsoever. So a pretty curious choice from Los Grandes, and we'll have to see if that's where a punish can come from. I do expect that to be the main point of pressure for Fluxo in this early game, at least as far as playmaking goes, because again, we've talked about it a lot, but bot lane, I mean, it's going to be rough for Bunsey and JoJo. They are even in farm so far, but it's only going to continue to get more and more lopsided as Zay and Netuno get more damage in their kits. Disamis has snuck in. Ranger's in the area.
Disamis in the bot lane. Netuno very low HP. Will be forced to flash away as well as use the heal. And Ranger just taking so long on the top side. He's still on the ground. If he spent just like 2 or 3 less seconds on the top side, he could have been there for the counter gig on bot lane. And that is just the butterfly effect that sometimes junglers have to worry about. He spent like probably 10 or 15 seconds, I don't know the exact time, waiting in that bush, and that 10 or 15 seconds is what cost Netuno both of his summoners. A very easy pressure point for Disamis to go back down in a minute or two, get a dive off on the bot lane, and maybe probably not shut down Netuno and Zay out of this game, but keeping them back from level 6 power spikes will be very crucial if Disamis could continue diving this bot lane.
Yeah, it's definitely a nice punish, and losing the summoners means Netuno and Zay will have to be careful as they push out, because again, That's all this Veresheimer wants to do. They want to keep Sivir under turret and make sure they have first move. But Cam, it's exactly as you predicted, right? JoJo just gonna leave bottom lane, say,
Yep.
"All right, Brunsy,
He bought boots,
have a
no
nice
more
life."
bot lane.
Yeah, and Lava with low mana and the wave in neutral. House has 6. I have a feeling of where they want to go. Supports, everybody is here 3v3, but I do think this one favors Fluxo if something were to get started.
Yeah, second JoJo buys boots. There's just no more bot lane for him to worry about. Excellent engage there onto Lava. He might just be dead. Even the re-engage from Desamas does get that first blood for House, and it's exactly like you say, Hawk. Get that flash out from Lava, get a regank, which, I mean, the regank just so happened to be in that very moment, but you know what? That is exactly what you needed. First blood picked up for House in, like you said, the counter matchup in mid lane that Lava kind of signed himself up for.
Yeah, and I mean, it was just, this is a disaster. You lose a flash and you still die. First blood for House. That is really bad. Now Ranger just running at them. Giga Chad a little bit. Okay. Doesn't get the crab, but I mean, that is bad
Let's
news.
go.
They're now just starting the dragon. I mean, Los Grandes feeling a little bit pressured to make a play here. It is going to be Lava with first move on this play, but House is coming back with an item advantage, has that lost chapter in his inventory. Fluxo, I don't think they're going to contest this. It's a Heimerdinger set up on a dragon. They're just going to watch this one go down.
I was going to say, even JoJo being in the river right there was very dangerous. I don't think he could have died. He had Flash, he had W, he had E as well on a nearby ally, just in case he really needs to get out. But JoJo standing in the river against like 4 members of Los Grandes, I was like, this is a very possible chance that he just kind of gets picked here. But playing just at the edge of range, Los Grandes does end up picking that first mountain dragon. The next dragon will be sometime spawning. Eject timers have disappeared again. It's sorry. I just kicked the desk with the microphone. Hope that didn't kill your ears.
It's fine. Our ears are fine, Cam. I appreciate the concern.
Did you hear it? I was like, that had to be so loud.
We heard it vaguely. You know, it was just a nice little percussion interlude for the stream. I think everyone appreciated the drum solo.
I got you. Anytime.
Los Grandes stacking up. Of course, yeah. Known drummer. Camcom, do you play any musical instruments?
I'm a flautist.
Oh, awesome. That's actually very cool. I'm a trumpet player myself, so you know we got some wind players here on the desk. But Los Grandes, they've managed to stack up this bottom wave, which will give them first move towards this Herald. Which again, it's CBLOL, and that's where I'm expecting the action to be. We can already see Fluxo posturing around it. Rangers also on this side of the map. Netuno and Zay not opting to walk yet, but they get the level 6. Cease and desist is here for Los Grandes, and a fight is most certainly brewing. Hear it. First into the river. Bot lane roaming up. Brunsy is a little bit late for Fluxo if something were to get going. And remember, Lava, the only one without flash, is the prime engaged target if Fluxo wants to find a fight.
Fluxo definitely needs House in these fights. He is the one with the kill, with the lead in the mid lane right now. 3k left on the Herald. Here it will be forced to jump out of the pit, cannot jump into the pit in the next couple of seconds, and that is a very small window for Fluxo to try and just burst it down, but they were unable to do so. Herald is just sitting there waiting for someone to take it, and that someone will be Ranger, but they cannot actually pick up the Herald. Here as well will end up going down, trying to pick up the eye. Ranger gets the smite, but not the eye, and 2 kills in the favor of Fluxo without even picking up the Rift Herald. Definitely comes out on top for Fluxo.
Yeah, it's a beautiful fight for Fluxo. I mean, you get a little bit of gold for killing the Herald, but 2 more kills. Both of them on to tie. The player that was catching some criticism from me. I mean, I was criticizing him, and now Lava under threat as well. He should be fine, but these soul laners, you were saying, Fluxo, they're going to play towards them. It's a bit of a departure from the usual style. Well, you know what, Cam? They're playing damn well, and the positioning from Fluxo is amazing. Pay attention to House just not allowing Los Grandes to walk into the river, and it forces Los Grandes to go super deep past the soldiers so they don't get too significantly chunked out. But, I mean, when you go that deep, there's just no follow-up, and as you say, 2 quick kills here at not able to get the Herald. It's a really clean fight.
Fluxo had super good communication there in that team, but I just have to point out, like, the defensive stance that they all took around that Rift Herald and being able to keep both Ranger and Hero off of the eye. Like, these are 2 very high movement speed, mobility type champions, and neither of them got to touch the eye. They just simply went down. So just the general like defense line that Fluxo had, and also of course the communication, just not letting Los Grandes pick up anything off of that fight. Yes, you win the smite fight, but it means literally nothing if you do not get that eye. And 2 plates on the top side as well going to Tay, so they might as well have gotten the Herald on the top side for Fluxo.
Yeah. I mean, at the very least, like, as Los Grandes, you can consider it a denial, right? Like, if they lost the Herald there as well, it would have been a disaster. Fluxo would have been in such a commanding position. But, I mean, we saw the gold graph come up right there. Ty and Howls leading the pack with their wealth, and Brunsey is barely behind Natuno as well. And, yeah, you were showing us your giant peep earlier. Cam, I can tell you're a connoisseur of friend-shaped stuffed animals. I'm loving it. Yeah. That is, hey, anything friend-shaped, we stand for here on CBLOL.
I just generally, like, haven't been able to find a Poro stuffed animal, like, anywhere. Like, I've gone to, like, both the LCS finals in the past year. I went to the World's, like, semifinals, whatever. Not a single merch stand had anything Poro-themed. Like, come on. I just want a Poro something. For real.
Riot Games.
Lava. No.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. Lava's dead. Riot Games, we need to get Camcom their Poro stuffed animal. If anyone here's listening, next live event that they're at, I better see it happening, or I'm gonna be very upset.
For real. So. I am very upset. But Los Grandes is also very upset. Yes. They did get the first dragon, but no dragon stacking for them. We had a 4-0 soul last game. Will not get a 4-0 soul this game. Fluxo in a position to take this second dragon. It is going to be a very difficult dragon to take if Ranger wants to play the smite fight, which I absolutely believe he does. Just cover your eyes. Don't look top lane. Tay having the time of his life on the top lane right now. Dragon is finally picked up now for Fluxo as well. Here it just bullied out of top lane, forced to recall underneath his inner turret, TP back to the outer turret, and even then, he might still be dove by Tay and possibly Tasamas.
This R5 Jack's not really getting its due, and this gold lead is ballooned to 2,500. I feel like this game is so similar to what we saw in the last game, Cam, where it's Los Grandes on the red side with the pick composition, but Fluxo, I guess the pick composition, they say, okay, we won't give you a target. We're just going to walk around as a group. And Los Grandes, with those targets denied from them, they've not really been able to do much of anything. And they're just slowly bleeding out in these solo lanes. Remember, last time these two teams played, it was Los Grandes' solo lanes that ran over the game. This time around, Ty and Howls, they are the ones online. Now, the difference from last game is I think the scaling for Los Grandes is a lot better than it was for Red with the Jax and the Victor. So they definitely have late game options. It's not by any means lost, especially because they were able to get the first dragon. They don't have the pressure fighting for soul. But it is not a great situation right now where their superstar solo laners aren't able to get going.
If you took the nameplates off of the champions of the teams right now, you could very easily convince me that blue side was Los Grandes and red side was Fluxo. Like,
totally.
Yeah, Fluxo has been playing so well to the win condition that we talked about during draft is get your solo laners ahead. Right now, 4 out of their 4 kills is equally distributed between their 2 solo laners. That is exactly what they need to do in the first 14 minutes of the game. They haven't completely lost any major objectives. They are even on dragons. Nobody got the first rift shield, which is probably just perfectly to Fluxo's advantage. They do get the flash out from Tay, but back here on the top side, Jojo tries to get some sort of engage, but unfortunately, the quickness does not land very quick. That tower will still stand. Unfortunately, no more plates can be picked up for Tay, but I think he got at least 2, maybe even 3 just solo plates so far ahead of here it. The XP looks even for now, but I would definitely say in the next couple of minutes, I think Tay could be picking up a 1, if not 2 level lead for here it for the majority of the game from here on out. And yep, as I say that he hits level 11, I would definitely expect him to hit level 12 significantly before here it.
Yeah, most certainly. I am seeing another Goredrinker Jace as well. What? Can someone enlighten me on this? Because I've never seen this, and now I'm seeing it twice in CBLOL. Hear it, taking a 1v1 that he won't win because it's not a 1v1. That is just going to be a kill. It's a killing spree. Yeah, it's a killing spree for the Jace. This top lane matchup again. R5 Jax Looking not the
Yup.
best right now in this matchup. Jace, so many times I feel like considered good in the Jax, so I don't know, weird pickup, but it's a tactical in because objective bounties just came up, and Los Grandes, they're gonna secure the Herald with it, so maybe it's just calculated.
It is just calculated. Yes. Now, I was gonna say, can they actually pick this up before DeSamus gets there? But I definitely think they can. Ranger definitely has this in his pocket, like you said earlier. You have an objective with the Heimerdinger sitting on it. You will take that objective very, very quickly. Ranger as well gets out perfectly fine. Nothing to worry about. So Los Grandes technically gets 2 Rift Heroes, but I mean, really, they're only gonna get 1, and that 1, based on current tower HP across the map, isn't gonna realistically be able to take any turrets, so they're probably not even gonna get any of these objective bodies from the Rift Herald. Yes, they got it from the Rift Herald itself, but I don't think these towers are gonna end up falling from a single Rift Herald.
I will say, I think that's a pretty huge denial because it denies Fluxo's ability to open up mid lane with the Herald before this next dragon, and being able to keep your mid tier 1 up for as long as possible as Los Grandes is going to be your ticket back into this game. You can just post up this Varus in mid lane, let him farm. Your wave clear is amazing for Los Grandes, so you should be able to not allow Fluxo to push too strongly on this lane, despite the side lanes being in such shambles. So that is sort of a good thing for Los Grandes on top of the objective bounty, so I like them being able to get that Herald. And the big thing, Dragon spawning in 30 seconds. I honestly think, Los Grandes, you give this one up. You've got a 0-stack Rod of Ages Victor. You don't have mythics on your jungler or your AD carry, despite them having first item spikes. Meanwhile, across the board, Fluxo, their 1 item spike is stronger, and they are all right there. 1.5 items even for House and Ty as Ranger's getting caught.
Ranger might just be dead. He just burst the flash as well and can't get the Q over the wall. Ranger just goes down to a micro mistake in the Baron pit. Zay as well. I thought he flashed away, but in fact, there's just little quick Heimerdinger legs. Just about buy him enough time to run away. Azir Tower goes down, I think, in the top lane. Yep, Lava. That was not where you wanted to TP to, my friend. He TPs in and is immediately forced to just run for the hills. This inner or outer turret, even in the mid lane, could end up going down, I would say, on the next wave, if not the wave after, as I think the wave after is the cannon wave, yeah. But they might not even be looking for that outer turret. Instead, it's just a dragon angle.
Yeah, it's a free Drake. They're going to be able to get their second one of the game, and it's critical that Los Grandes was able to save that mid tower. I just spent a lot of time talking about how important it was, but it's just another nice pick from Fluxo. Ranger out of position. They immediately go in. They get another kill for Ty. 4-0-0. I asked the question, could he step up? The answer is, at least so far, 18 minutes into this game, a big, fat, resounding yes on this Jace. And once that Muramana transforms as well, he's only going to get stronger. You said Ty would probably hit level 12 before here. That did in fact happen, so bold predictions coming true right here. It's going to be an answer back from Los Grandes on the top side with this Rift Herald, so they will get an objective bounty that we sort of talked about earlier, but it is just chump change at this point because Fluxo, their gold lead is immense, over 3,000.
Tay just really needs to not die on this top side, and I did want to mention earlier as well, speaking of not dying, oh, never mind.
There's gonna be dying.
There's gonna be dying, actually. TP coming in from House as well as here, but here it is very late, and on the backside, Ranger brought into the team and into his death. Flash coming out over the wall from Lava, but
Chaos
here
Storm
just cannot do
mind.
anything. He can survive for so long, but he can't do any damage, not even to Tay, who secures himself yet another double kill. Natuno, last member standing. I don't think he's going to be standing for very long. Yeah, no, that is a 19-minute ace for Fluxo against none other than Los Grandes.
And there goes that mid-tier 1 Los Grandes. They get it started, but Fluxo, I mean, I gotta be honest, they just slap him with their wallet. That was a fleeting glimpse of what Los Grandes' composition could do if it's able to set up and fight, as the damage out of the Victor was pretty significant, but it's just too split. It's too messy. Natuno gets forced out immediately. Zay, dead immediately. Ranger, dead immediately, and then it just becomes a 2v3 more or less. Or 2v5. Yeah, here it's doing work. I mean, again, this Victor, this Jax, they will scale so well, but at this point of the game, nice mechanics from House to get over the wall. It's just so doomed, and I don't think Los Grandes is going to have enough time to get that scaling. And see Brunsey, the cocky 80 carry on Fluxo, feeling himself a little bit.
And that was exactly the moment that I wanted to talk about before the team fight broke out. Was we were saying in draft how Bronze and Jojo in the spot lane are going to have a very difficult time laning against Natuno and Zay. This should be a super hard winning Varus Heimerdinger bot lane. And you look down at bot lane, there's just 0 kills. There's 0 deaths even between the Sivir and the Rakan. Like, you pick a Sivir, the best possible case scenario is nothing happens in bot lane. And so far, Bronze has been able to pull exactly that off. Shurima coming out on the top lane. House poked out quite a bit from Chaos Storm, but TP coming in now from Tay. Very terrifying. House easily able to pick up that kill onto range. Lava does not have Chaos Storm, does not have Flash. He has some teammates in the river, but they can't even arrive into the fight. Lava in a little bit of a 1v1 against House. He is able to win out on that one for now. The other members of Los Grandes just about able to run away to safety. Here it finds himself a 1v1 against the Samus, but it's only for a couple of seconds. This is not the 1v1 you want to take, my friend, as it is right next to Baron. 3 kills for Fluxo, and now another Baron.
It's another disjointed fight. Ranger, I mean, it's just not been his game. Trying desperately to make any sort of positive play for his team, but it just doesn't feel realistic at that point. Getting taken down by House, and then in the ensuing chase, it's a couple more kills. Going over Lava, now getting jumped on. Ty, just flexing his muscles. Letting Los Grandes know, like, hey, this is my rift, and it most certainly is his rift. 602 on the J, 604 for House in mid. It is the opposite story of the last time these two teams face each other. And with an 8,000 gold lead, Baron in hand, Fluxo, they are looking like they are going to move up to that second place spot, Camcom.
Absolutely, this is exactly the place that Fluxo wants to be. I don't think Los Grandes is in a spot anytime soon to lose their first place. They would have to have a very bad, like, next 2 weeks. Like, they would have to lose probably 4 games in a row to lose their first place. So this game on its own does mean a whole lot more for Fluxo.
Loss, right?
Yes, I mean, it does sound a lot better to have 9 wins, 1 loss, than 8 wins, 2 losses, but still, 8 wins is a solid place to hold on to for the second half of the split. Ranger just simply cannot do anything in any of these engages. It has to be like the perfect engage for Los Grandes to be able to do something. I think realistically, I'm just gonna go out on a limb here and say that the best case scenario for Los Grandes is to stall until Elder, play for a steal on Elder, and pray that you can ace them. I think that is the way.
That's Rudude's favorite, right? You sandbag the game to flip the Elder. I know he said he loves that play. I can see it. I see the angle for Los Grandes because, I mean, you know, you're talking about the standings, and yeah, I agree. Like, Los Grandes probably not in too much danger of losing first place anytime soon, just based on the way they've been playing. But hold that thought. We got to fight in bot.
Fight in bot. Tay does go down. That is a 650 shutdown picked up for here, but there's not anything he could do to try and get that one back around. House goes golden. Ranger over the wall, but cannot get over the wall. He gets trapped. He can't get the engage. He still has Flash. He still has ult, and he will put it both onto none other than House. That is the 2 biggest shutdowns now picked up for Los Grandes right in the middle of the Baron push that Fluxo had. That is a massive gold swing, but it's still in the favor of Fluxo overall. So well played there by Los Grandes. Yes, it was a little bit of a micro mistake from Ranger, but they still were able to pick up the massive shutdowns off of Tay and House.
Yeah, they got the ones that they needed, and critically, it went onto Lava, and here it's each. That is the carries that you want, the scaling solo laners. Maybe we shouldn't just quite count our chickens before they hatch, because I was about to start praising Fluxo. Even though Los Grandes might not lose first place off this game, I mean, Fluxo, it just feels like this is such a great look for this team, but they've not won this game. Los Grandes, they might not just lose first place because they could just end up winning. It's a great initiation.
Observers, why you do them like that?
Yeah, I know. The Observers just trolling Ranger. I mean, eventually gets in, right? Like, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, but a little awkward.
He was probably going to use Flash and ult there anyway. Like, it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't really matter, but, like, everyone saw it. You know, like, everyone saw it. And that is, Sorry.
Cover your eyes. You don't see anything.
Tough.
Oh man, but even after that fight, even after a pick on the house, he still has a 150 shutdown. Like, that just goes to show how ahead these soul laners truly are for Fluxo. And of course, after that team fight as well, they were able to pick up their soul point. One more dragon for an Ocean Soul, and one more dragon after that for your favorite Elder Flip. If we can make it that long, that would be another like 10 minutes in this game. And Los Grandes, they did hold on to their bottom inhibitor turret really well, but I don't think this inner turret on the top lane is long for this world.
Yeah, but it is key that they held on to all their inhibitors because, I mean, with the Baron not spawning for 2 minutes, Los Grandes has essentially bought themselves 2 minutes where they can just sit and farm on these waves. And we can see the wave clear of that Victor and that Vera starting to do a lot of work. Lava, Roa pops, level 16. This game, Cam, I mean, despite the 8,000 gold advantage for Fluxo, it's starting to feel weirdly close. They're looking to dive as Fluxo.
Scaling starting to come online, but you do have to play the team fights correctly.
Jojo.
Jojo goes in so deep. He has the quickness, he has the flash, but he doesn't have the damage to continue the fight on his own. It's a 1-for-1 trade, but what inhibitors can Fluxo take? Trading out your support for your jungle, I say, is very, very worth for Fluxo. Jojo, perfect engage on the recon.
And they get the inhibitor. Jojo goes so deep on the engage, found multiple members, but the follow-up was just a little bit disjointed for Fluxo. I think that could have maybe been the fight that breaks the game open. And clearly, Fluxo, they recognize the gravity of the situation. They do not want to let Lava and the Tunio get set up and fire in damage. They are going to try to rip this composition's defenses apart.
Only so much you can rip apart if there's nothing to take.
Did you see that too? The ward from Zay. Los Grandes just making like the most awkward mistakes that the observers are catching for everybody.
Like, observers, please, can we just like the team is winning? Like,
we're BM at this point. Like,
Flux is having a great time right now, and the observers are like, "No, we gotta remind everyone that they're 4th seed right now." But I mean, they win this game, they're not gonna be 4th seed for much longer. I don't know off the top of my head if they have head-to-head over Red. If they do, then they do actually secure themselves 2nd solo, but
they do
still
indeed.
Tying. They do have a tiebreaker?
Yes, they beat Red last week, I do believe.
Okay.
Tunio getting engaged on.
Don't do this. Don't do this to me, Tuno. Don't do this. He used heal. He still has flash. He might have to use flash. He does. As well as the soul shackles? No, wait, that's Morgana. I don't know. Chain of Corruption.
Chains of Corruption. Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, you know. It's shackly. I can see where you're coming from.
You see Tay in the face cam there? It looked like he was, like, giving a really good, like, food meal. He was having a great time. He had a big smile.
Also, I do want to point out, it was actually just yesterday. Oh, never mind. It's just a kill on a Zay, and now Los Grandes on the wrong side of the rift. Baron up 4v5 with super minions going into their base. It's a bad situation, and I mean, just again to talk a little bit more about standings, as this Baron almost certainly going to go over for Fluxo is, it was actually yesterday that Fluxo was able to take down Red, which means that if they are able to complete this, they will take down the top 2 teams in the CBLOL in the same weekend, which again, if you're looking at this team to scale up towards the second half of the split, that could be big. TP behind, they want to end the game right now.
This could just be the end of the game. Here it has TP. I think he needs to start TPing right now if he wants to make it out alive. Either that or just start recalling. And no, it will be that TP to make it out alive. And Ranger bought enough time just running through his jungle. They will all end up making it out alive, other than, of course, Natuno. I don't think Natuno ever had a chance to make it out alive from that one. And Fluxo playing this, I mean, considering they're pretty massive 10k gold lead, they're playing it very slow, very controlled. They're going for all 3 inhibitors, which I do respect. I don't think you necessarily need it, especially with the Baron. But if you do take all 3 inhibitors, that should, in theory, guarantee you the Nexus house, though. Has to guarantee that he stays alive. He's still alive. He's still breathing here. Finally able to take him down. Tay as well, keeping the rest of the backline of Los Grandes out of the fight. Nothing that they can do to keep here alive, and Lava's Bell might not be long for this world. Does get that flash out, does not have the Chaos Storm available off of cooldown. Fluxo having a very hard time taking this final inhibitor.
Yeah, Fluxo, I mean, they're playing respectfully. They saw what happened at the bottom inhibitor last time. They don't want to make the same mistake. They want to close this out. Cool, calm, collected. This is their opportunity to close out against both of the top teams in the CBLOL in one weekend. Los Grandes, they're going for broke.
Going for broke.
Oh, Coutinho.
They have the Baron Cannon on the Nexus turrets. That is like the absolute best thing that you can do this late into the game. The Nexus turrets just get melted. They don't have any HP left to stand, and Nexus is next up on the target. They have to auto it. It almost doesn't go down, but in the end, Fluxo is able to shut down Los Grandes.